It feels like all the really big advancements in AI, well, they always seem to need a ton of resources, like so much power and expertise, that it just puts them out of reach for a lot of people.
It really does feel that way sometimes.
But what if that was changing? Like, what if all this really advanced AI stuff suddenly became way more accessible?
Hmm, that would be something.
And that seems to be exactly what's causing all the buzz around Google's latest thing,
Oh, yeah, you're talking about Gemma 3.
Gemma 3, that's the one.
Right.
And that's exactly what we're going to dig into today. Like, what is it really?
Mm.
And why are people calling it a potential game changer? Especially for making AI, accessible to more people.
Yeah, and we've been looking closely at everything we can find about Gemma 3,
Right.
and it seems like there's a real strategy here on Google's part.
Okay.
And what we want to do in this deep dive is really pull out the most important insights about the core features of Gemma 3, what it can actually do, how it could be used out there in the real world, and most importantly, what makes it more accessible. So we want to make sure you get a clear picture of what's important without getting bogged down in all the super technical stuff.
Exactly. Our listeners, they want to learn a lot, but quickly, right? So think of this like your express lane to understanding this really interesting development in AI.
I like that.
Our mission is pretty simple. Break down Gemma 3, explain why it matters, and explore how it could impact things. And we're going to do it all in a way that's engaging and easy to understand.
Sounds good.
Okay, so let's start unpacking this. The big idea seems to be this whole democratization of AI thing. What does Google really want to achieve by making Gemma 3 more widely available? What's the goal here?
I think what's really striking is that Google seems to be aiming to dramatically expand the number of people who can actually work with advanced AI.
Okay.
And Gemma 3 is right at the heart of this. It's described as an open model, which means it's pre-trained and super optimized. It's built on all the breakthroughs they've made with their Gemini research.
So when we hear open model, that makes it sound really accessible.
Right.
But is that the same as like when we talk about something being open source?
Yeah, that's a really important point to clarify. When we see open in this context, it doesn't actually mean they're releasing the entire underlying source code of Gemma 3.
Right.
Like putting it all out there for anyone to see and change at that fundamental code level.
Got it.
It actually refers to a much broader type of access that they're providing to developers and researchers. So people can use it, adapt it, through fine-tuning, and deploy Gemma 3 across a whole bunch of different computing setup.
Okay.
So it's different from open source software where the code itself is public. Here, open really means more about ease of access and the ability to use it easily.
Got it. So it reaches a lot more people than the typical proprietary AI models, even if it's not fully open source.
Exactly.
You mentioned optimization earlier. Why is that such a big deal for Gemma 3? Like, why is that so important?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. Gemma 3 was designed for efficiency from the ground up, which means it needs way less computing power compared to some of those huge AI models we've seen. And that has some pretty big practical implications. We're talking about the real possibility of running this advanced AI locally.
Oh, wow.
Like maybe on a powerful graphics card in your computer, or even built right into those more advanced mobile devices.
So you wouldn't need access to those massive data centers and all that just to try out cutting-edge AI.
Exactly. And it immediately makes things more affordable.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's huge because the cost can be a real barrier for individual researchers, small startups, even universities.
That's what I hear.
Plus, these optimized models tend to be faster, which means quicker responses for any apps built using them.
Oh, interesting.
So think about places with spotty internet or situations where keeping data private is super important.
Great.
Being able to run these powerful AI tasks right there on your device becomes a huge plus.
Makes sense. Run the AI where the data is or where you need a response fast.
Yeah.
You don't need to be online all the time.
Precisely.
Now, another thing that really jumped out at me was this 128K token context window. That sounds pretty technical.
Yeah.
Can you break that down for us? Like, what does that actually mean, and why is it such a big leap forward?
Sure. So think of the context window as how much information the AI can hold in its memory at once and use during any interaction.
Okay.
A 128K token window is enormous. To put it in perspective, it's like the model being able to remember and process the information in hundreds of pages of a book all at the same time.
Hundreds of pages. Wow, that really puts it into scale. So what can you actually do with that much memory? What new things does that unlock?
Well, it opens up some incredible possibilities. With all that context, Gemma 3 can analyze and summarize really long, complicated documents like entire research papers, legal briefs, even big chunks of books all in one go.
No way.
And it can handle much longer conversations with AI chatbots chatbots because it remembers all the little details and nuances for a lot longer. You wouldn't need to keep reminding it what you're talking about.
So it's not like talking to an AI with a 5-second memory anymore.
Exactly. And for creative work, this extended context means you can give it much more detailed prompts and get far more substantial outputs, like longer stories or in-depth articles, all while staying consistent.
Wow.
Plus, for complex problems where you need to consider a lot of background info and connections, this context window is a game changer. It can pull insights from a much wider range of information.
That sounds incredibly powerful. It's like it gives the AI a much deeper understanding of all that complex information.
It really does.
Now let's shift gears a bit. I saw that Gemma 3 can also work with text in over 140 languages.
That's right.
That's a huge number of languages.
Yeah.
What are the implications of that global reach?
It's truly significant. Gemma 3's ability to understand and generate text in so many languages has big implications worldwide. The potential for really accurate translation between so many language pairs is huge, but it goes way beyond just basic translation.
Okay, how so?
Think about creating content that's tailored for different cultures and languages. Gemma 3 could be used to create marketing stuff, educational materials, even creative writing that feels authentic in over 140 languages.
That's wild.
It's not just about the AI speaking the language, but also about understanding the nuances and cultural differences.
Right, so it's about communication that's more natural and appropriate for each language.
Exactly.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Now let's get into something that feels a bit more futuristic: multimodality. The information hints that Gemma 3 is designed for this too. What exactly does that mean?
Yeah, so the future vision for Gemma 3 includes what we call multimodal understanding. This means the AI can work with different types of data at the same time, not just text, but things like images and videos. The potential applications are really broad here.
Okay, what kind of tasks are we talking about?
Imagine giving Gemma 3 a picture, and it gives you back a detailed description of what's in it. Or asking questions about what's happening in a video and getting accurate answers.
Wow.
It could also combine images and text for richer analysis, like looking at a news article with photos and understanding it better than with either one alone.
That's fascinating.
Plus, there's potential for checking images and videos for safety, making sure they're appropriate and identifying things that might be harmful.
So like content moderation, but for visuals too.
Right.
That's really cutting edge. But I did notice something in the information that mentioned the actual rollout of these multimodal features. What's the latest on that? Like, what should we expect?
Yeah, that's really important to understand. So we have realistic expectations. While the design of Gemma 3 is definitely set up for handling multiple types of data, the early information we have, from around April 2025 suggested that the full implementation and availability of these capabilities, especially on platforms like Google AI Studio, might still be under development or could have some limits initially.
Oh, okay.
It's definitely where Gemma 3 is headed, but that super smooth integration of all the multimodal stuff in real-world scenarios might need a bit more time and refinement.
So the foundation's there, the long-term goal is clear, but we might not see the full multimodal experience everywhere right away.
Exactly.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to what a lot of our listeners will be most interested in, how all these incredible features translate into actual real-world applications. I mean, the possibilities seem endless.
They really do. Gemma 3's flexibility and optimized performance make it useful across so many different fields.
Yeah, okay, like what?
Take software development, for example. It could be a huge help to programmers by generating code finding and fixing bugs and even explaining complex code in different programming languages.
That would be a game changer for developers of all skill levels, from beginners to the pros.
Absolutely. Then there's personalized digital assistants and chatbots. Gemma 3 could power virtual assistants that are way smarter, more aware of the context and tailored for specific areas like expert customer service tech support or personalized education.
So they'd be a big step up from those generic chatbots we see now. They could be so frustrating.
For sure. And for people who create content, Gemma 3 is a powerful tool for writing articles, scripts, emails, marketing materials, all sorts of things. And it can do it all in multiple languages, which is a big advantage in today's world.
Yeah, being able to reach a global audience is crucial these days.
Exactly. And researchers and analysts could use it to process and understand huge amounts of information quickly, whether it's complex scientific papers or detailed financial reports.
That could save them so much time and help them make discoveries faster.
Definitely. In education, imagine intelligent tutoring systems that adapt to how each student learns and give personalized feedback. Or interactive platforms that combine text and visuals for a more engaging learning experience.
That's a cool idea.
And because Gemma 3 is so efficient, it could even be built into apps on our phones and other devices through things like Google AI Edge. So we could have powerful AI features even without internet access.
Having that kind of AI power offline would be amazing.
And we can't forget about accessibility. Gemma 3 could help create tools that describe images for people who are visually impaired or simplify complex text for those with learning differences. The potential to make a positive impact is huge.
It really does sound like a transformative technology.
Yeah.
So Google built this powerful AI, but what are they doing to make sure it's actually accessible to a wider audience? It's not just about creating it, it's about getting it into the hands of people who can use it right.
You're absolutely right. That's a crucial part of their strategy. They've launched Google AI Studio, which is a free online platform where developers, researchers, and anyone interested can experiment with Gemma 3 and other Google AI models without needing complex setups.
That's great. So it's designed to be user-friendly and encourage people to explore and try new things.
Exactly. And they're also offering flexible ways to use it. You can run Gemma 3 in the cloud on your own servers, build it into web apps, or even put it on mobile devices depending on your needs and what you have available.
Okay.
But here's the really important part. They're providing tools and instructions that make it easy to fine-tune the model. So you can take the pre-trained Gemma 3 and adjust it to work even better for specific tasks and with certain types of data.
So it's not just a one-size-fits-all AI. You can tailor it to your specific needs.
Exactly. And when we put all this together, what are the key takeaways about Gemma 3? Why is it causing so much excitement as a major step forward?
Well, it seems clear that Gemma 3 isn't just another one of those massive AI models that needs a supercomputer to run. It's a clear move by Google to make advanced AI more open, more efficient, and ultimately more accessible to a much wider range of people and organizations.
I agree. The focus on optimization is what sets it apart. It addresses the limitations of needing so much computing power, which often limits who can really use this kind of technology.
And they didn't sacrifice capability for efficiency either. I mean, look at that huge context window and all the languages it supports.
Exactly, and by making it more accessible, they're empowering a much more diverse group of innovators, people who might not have had the resources or knowledge to work with this level of AI before.
It's like opening up the world of AI to a whole new group of people.
And we can't forget about the potential of its multimodal design, even though it's still being developed. All in all, Gemma 3 looks like a really promising development that could spark a whole wave of new intelligent apps and services. It lowers the barriers to entry and encourages experimentation in AI.
So to recap what we've talked about today, Gemma 3 is Google's initiative to democratize advanced AI. It's an optimized and more accessible model based on their Gemini research.
Right.
It's got that amazing 128K token context window, supports over 140 languages, and it's designed to work with multiple data types like images and videos. Though its text processing abilities are particularly advanced right now, Google's making it accessible through things like AI Studio and by offering different ways to use and fine-tune it.
That's right.
So it opens up a world of possibilities for real-world applications in areas like software development, content creation, education, and many more.
Exactly. And knowing how interested you are in expanding your knowledge and understanding in this rapidly evolving tech world, I think Gemma 3's focus on accessibility and its versatility could be really valuable for your own explorations.
Definitely. It's exciting to think about all the potential. So as tools like Gemma 3 become more widely available, what entirely new kinds of creative problem solving and communication might we see in the future?
That's a great question.
And with the ability to run such sophisticated AI on more readily available hardware, how might that change who can innovate and contribute to the development of AI? It's definitely something to think about.
It really is food for thought.